What if I told you about a man whose faith, courage, and vision not only shaped his own people but also changed the course of history? A man who started with a small tribe, faced countless dangers, and went on to lay the foundation of one of the greatest Islamic empires the world has ever seen. This is not a fairy tale or a story from legend. This is the real-life journey of Ertugrul Ghazi, the father of the Ottoman Empire. His life is full of action, bravery, and wisdom, and it continues to inspire millions of people even today. Imagine a time over 700 years ago when the world was full of chaos and war. The Mongols were spreading fear across Asia, while the Crusaders were fighting to hold their grip on lands they had conquered. In the middle of this storm, in a place called Anatolia, a small tribe named the Kay was struggling to survive. They had no big cities, no large armies, and no wealth. All they had was their faith in Allah and a leader who believed in justice and unity. That leader was Ertugrul Ghazi, a man with a big heart, unshakable faith, and a vision to protect his people. He wasn't just a warrior, he was a man of deep wisdom and trust in Allah. He didn't seek power for himself but fought to protect the weak, to establish justice, and to spread peace. Against all odds, Ertugrul and his tribe stood firm, even when powerful empires and mighty enemies tried to crush them. But how did this small tribe, led by a man of simple beginnings, rise to such greatness? What challenges did they face? And what made Ertugrul such a remarkable leader? Stay with us as we take you back to the 13th century to explore the amazing life of Ertugrul Ghazi, a true hero whose story will leave you inspired and full of hope. Ertugrul was born into a family known for its strong leadership and deep sense of responsibility. His father, Suleiman Shah, was the respected chief of the Kai tribe, one of the many Turkic tribes searching for safety and stability during a time of great turmoil. Suleiman Shah was not just a leader, he was a symbol of wisdom and strength. Guiding his people through challenges with a firm belief in Allah's plan, he taught his sons, Ertugrul and his brothers, the core values that would shape their lives: justice, courage, and unwavering faith in Allah. Suleiman Shah emphasized the importance of standing up for what is right, even when the odds were against them. He believed that a leader's true strength lay in serving his people with fairness and compassion. Under his guidance, young Ertugrul learned the art of leadership, the skills of a warrior, and the principles of unity and trust. Suleiman Shah's teachings became the foundation of Ertugrul's character, shaping him into the leader he would one day become. However, life was not easy for the Kai tribe. They were constantly on the move, escaping the chaos of the Mongol invasions and seeking refuge from hostile powers. Tragedy struck when Suleiman Shah passed away under heartbreaking circumstances. According to historical accounts, he drowned while crossing the Euphrates River during one of their migrations. His death was a heavy blow to the Kai tribe, leaving them without their leader at a time when they were most vulnerable. The loss of Suleiman Shah created uncertainty and fear among the Kai people. Some members of the tribe even questioned their survival without his guidance. Yet, it was in this moment of crisis that Ertugrul began to rise as a leader. With his father's teachings deeply ingrained in his heart, Ertugrul stepped forward, determined to honor Suleiman Shah's legacy. He understood that his tribe needed more than just a warrior. They needed a leader with vision, faith, and the courage to face overwhelming challenges. Ertugrul's leadership was not inherited by name alone, it was earned through his actions. He led with wisdom, inspired his people with hope, and placed his complete trust in Allah's guidance. It was this combination of faith, resilience, and determination that would eventually lead the Kai tribe to victories they could have only dreamed of. Suleiman Shah's legacy lived on through Ertugrul, proving that true leadership is about passing down values that outlast one's lifetime. This pivotal moment in Ertugrul's life set the stage for his incredible journey. A journey that would not only ensure the survival of the Kay tribe, but also pave the way for the rise of the Ottoman Empire. With the passing of Suleiman Shah, the weight of leadership fell on the shoulders of young Ertugrul. This was no ordinary challenge for a young man who had just lost his father. The Kay tribe, small in number and lacking wealth, was surrounded by powerful enemies and rival forces. To the east, the Mongols were sweeping through the region, leaving destruction and fear in their wake. To the west, the Crusaders were eager to expand their influence, viewing the Turks as a threat to their dominance. In addition, the tribe faced internal struggles, as some members doubted Ertugrul's ability to lead in such dire circumstances. Treacherous rulers and rival tribes added to the list of challenges, plotting to exploit the Kai tribe's vulnerable position. Ertugrul, however, had something that made him stand out among his people: his unshakable faith in Allah and a firm belief that justice, courage, and unity would prevail. He saw leadership not as a privilege, but as a responsibility to serve and protect his people. Ertugrul was deeply inspired by the teachings of Islam, which emphasized trust in Allah as tawakkul, perseverance in the face of hardship, and the duty to uphold justice even in the most difficult situations. These values became the foundation of his leadership. Despite the overwhelming odds, Ertugrul began to rally his people. He reminded them of the importance of standing firm in their faith and trusting in Allah's plan. Ertugrul's leadership was characterized by wisdom and a willingness to take risks for the greater good. One of his first significant actions as leader was to move the tribe to safer lands, away from immediate threats, while seeking alliances that would strengthen their position. His strategic mind and ability to inspire loyalty made him an exceptional leader even at a young age. Historical accounts and legends tell us that Ertugrul's faith in Allah guided him during some of the most critical moments in his life. One well-known event describes how Ertugrul and his small band of warriors encountered a battle between two larger armies. Instead of retreating, Ertugrul chose to side with the weaker army, believing it was his duty to support those in need. This act of bravery not only turned the tide of the battle but also earned the respect and gratitude of the Seljuk Sultan, who would later become an ally of the Kayı tribe. This decision to intervene on behalf of justice was a turning point. It marked the beginning of Ertugrul's rise to prominence, as he demonstrated that faith and courage could overcome even the greatest of challenges. Through alliances, strategic victories, and his unyielding trust in Allah, Ertugrul began to secure a future for his people. Ertugrul's leadership during this period laid the foundation for what would later become the Ottoman Empire. His unwavering faith was not just a source of personal strength, it became a guiding light for his tribe. He proved that with trust in Allah, courage, and determination, even the smallest and most vulnerable group could rise above their enemies and achieve greatness. This faith-driven resilience would continue to define the legacy of the Kayı tribe for generations to come. One day, Ertugrul's life took a dramatic and fateful turn, an event that would shape not only his destiny but also the future of his people. While traveling with his trusted Alps, the loyal warriors who stood by him through thick and thin, Ertugrul came across a scene of chaos. A caravan of travelers was under attack by bandits. The attackers, ruthless and heavily armed, were intent on looting and killing, showing no mercy to the defenseless travelers. Ertugrul, known for his sense of justice, and could not stand by and watch such cruelty. Without hesitation, he called upon his Alps to prepare for battle. Although the bandits outnumbered them, Ertugrul's faith in Allah and his confidence in his men gave him the courage to act. Leading the charge, he and his warriors launched a surprise attack on the bandits. The fight was fierce, but Ertugrul's strategic mind and the skill of his Alps turned the tide of the battle. The bandits were defeated, and the caravan was saved. Among the travelers in the caravan was a man who would change Ertugrul's life forever, a renowned scholar and mystic named Ibn Arabi, known throughout the Islamic world for his deep spiritual wisdom and knowledge. Ibn Arabi was no ordinary traveler. His writings and teachings had inspired countless people to draw closer to Allah and to understand the deeper meanings of life and faith. Grateful for being saved, Ibn Arabi saw something extraordinary in Ertugrul. He recognized in him not just a brave warrior, but a leader with a pure heart and a destiny far greater than anyone could imagine. In their conversations, Ibn Arabi shared words of wisdom that would guide Ertugrul throughout his life. He reminded him of the importance of placing complete trust in Allah, upholding justice even when it was difficult, and leading with humility and compassion. One of Ibn Arabi's most impactful lessons to Ertugrul was the idea that every trial and challenge is a test from Allah, meant to strengthen one's faith and character. He encouraged Ertugrul to remain steadfast in his mission, no matter how overwhelming the obstacles might seem. Ibn Arabi's presence became a source of spiritual guidance for Ertugrul, helping him navigate the complex and often dangerous path of leadership. This encounter with Ibn Arabi also reinforced Ertugrul's belief in the divine plan. He began to see his victories and challenges as part of a larger purpose, preparing him to lead his people toward a brighter future. The bond between Ertugrul and Ibn Arabi grew stronger over time, with the scholar often serving as a mentor, offering prayers, and providing advice whenever Ertugrul faced difficult decisions. The teachings of Ibn Arabi not only influenced Ertugrul's personal life, but also became a guiding principle for his leadership. He carried the wisdom of the scholar into every battle, every negotiation, and every decision he made. Ertugrul's commitment to justice, faith, and unity was deeply rooted in the lessons he learned from Ibn Arabi, whose presence in his life was no coincidence. It was a sign of Allah's divine support. This pivotal moment marked the beginning of a deeper spiritual journey for Ertugrul, shaping him into the legendary leader who would one day lay the foundation for the Ottoman Empire. Through the wisdom of Ibn Arabi and the courage of his own heart, Ertugrul learned that true leadership is not just about power or conquest. It is about serving a greater purpose, guided by faith and a commitment to justice. This encounter remains one of the most inspiring chapters in Ertugrul's life, a testament to how Allah places the right people in our path at the right time to guide us toward our destiny. O Ertugrul, Allah has chosen you for a great mission. Be steadfast in your faith, and you will bring justice to the oppressed. Remember, victory comes only from Allah. These powerful words, spoken by Ibn Arabi, resonated deeply in Ertugrul's heart. They weren't just words of encouragement. They were a reminder of his divine responsibility and a confirmation that his mission was guided by a higher purpose. Ertugrul realized that his struggle was not merely about survival or territorial gains, but about fulfilling a sacred duty to protect the oppressed, uphold justice, and bring peace to a world consumed by chaos. These words became a source of unshakable strength for Ertugrul. In moments of doubt and hardship, he would reflect on this message, drawing energy and clarity from its profound truth. Ertugrul understood that the path ahead would be filled with trials, but he firmly believed that Allah's help was with those who remained patient, faithful, and steadfast. His mission transcended the boundaries of his tribe. It was a calling to unite people under the banner of justice and faith. As Ertugrul stepped into his role as a leader, he knew he could not walk this path alone. A great mission required not only personal strength but also a partner who shared the same vision and faith. That partner came into his life in the form of Halime Sultan, a noblewoman whose courage, wisdom, and deep faith matched Ertugrul's own ideals. According to historical accounts and oral traditions, Halime was the daughter of a Seljuk nobleman and brought with her the qualities of leadership, grace, and unwavering loyalty. Halime Sultan was not just a wife to Ertugrul, she was his equal, his confidant, and a source of inspiration. Her unwavering support in times of war and peace gave Ertugrul the strength to face the immense challenges before him. She stood by his side during the tribe's most difficult moments, providing wise counsel and comforting their people with her steadfast faith. Halime's courage was evident in her actions. She didn't shy away from danger when the tribe was under threat, and she worked tirelessly to ensure the well-being of their people. Together, Ertugrul and Halime became a symbol of unity and resilience for the Kaya tribe. Their shared faith and vision for a just society inspired their people to rise above fear and division. The bond between Ertugrul and Halime was rooted in mutual respect, love, and a deep sense of purpose. They led by example, demonstrating that leadership was not about power but about service to Allah and their community. Halime Sultan also played a critical role in shaping the next generation of leaders. She was a loving and wise mother to their children, especially Osman, who would go on to establish the Ottoman Empire. Through her guidance, she instilled in her children the values of faith, justice, and compassion, qualities they would carry forward as they built one of the greatest empires in history. Ertugrul and Halime's partnership was a reflection of Allah's blessing on their mission. Their love and shared commitment to justice became a beacon of hope for their people, reminding them that even in the face of overwhelming odds, unity and faith could overcome any challenge. Together, they not only protected the Kaya tribe but also laid the foundation for an Islamic civilization that would inspire the world for centuries to come. Ertugrul's tribe, the Kaya, was constantly under threat. The political landscape in Anatolia during the 13th century was rife with conflict, and the Kaya tribe was surrounded by formidable enemies. To the east, the Mongol Empire, under the leadership of Genghis Khan and his descendants, was sweeping across the region, conquering vast territories with its ruthless military campaigns. The Mongols were known for their destruction, leaving fear and devastation in their wake, and they had set their sights on Anatolia. To the west, the Crusaders, driven by religious zeal and a desire to expand their influence, sought to erase Islam from the region. Their armies, strengthened by the backing of European powers, were determined to recapture lands from the Muslim rulers in the Middle East and Anatolia. The Crusaders saw the presence of the Turks as a threat to their mission and were eager to rid the region of their influence. The Kaya tribe, with its small numbers and humble resources, was no match for such powerful enemies. However, Ertugrul was not one to be easily intimidated. His leadership transformed the Kaya tribe into a symbol of resistance, an unyielding force that refused to bow to invaders. He understood that survival was not only about military strength, but also about unity, faith, and the willingness to sacrifice for a greater cause. Ertugrul's faith in Allah, combined with his deep commitment to justice and his people, became the driving force behind his leadership. Ertugrul's loyalty to his people was reciprocated by the unwavering loyalty of his warriors, known as the Alps. These warriors were more than just soldiers. They were his brothers in arms, bound by a bond stronger than blood. Among the most trusted of Ertugrul's Alps were Turgut, Bamzi, and Dogan. Each of these men played a vital role in supporting Ertugrul's leadership and in turning the tide of battle. Turgut Alp was known for his exceptional bravery and strategic thinking. He was not only a warrior but also a trusted advisor to Ertugrul, often offering counsel in times of crisis. His loyalty was unquestionable, and his courage in battle became legendary. Turgut's role in the tribe went beyond that of a fighter. He was a key figure in maintaining the morale of the warriors and keeping the faith alive in the face of overwhelming odds. Bamzi Alp was another of Ertugrul's most loyal warriors. His heart was as big as his strength, and his bond with Ertugrul was one of deep friendship and mutual respect. Bamzi was known for his fierce loyalty, his sense of humor, and his unshakable trust in Allah's will. Despite facing countless dangers, Bamzi remained by Ertugrul's side, never wavering in his support. His courage in battle and his commitment to the cause made him one of Ertugrul's most reliable companions. Dogan Alp, the third of the core group, was a warrior of exceptional skill and determination. He was a loyal protector of the tribe and a constant source of support for Ertugrul. Dogan's presence in any battle boosted the morale of the Kai tribe, as his courage was contagious. His steadfastness in the face of danger earned him the trust of Ertugrul, and together they fought to defend their homeland. The bond between Ertugrul and his Alps exemplified the power of loyalty and brotherhood. In battle, they fought side by side, knowing that their survival depended on their unity and trust in one another. Their loyalty to Ertugrul was not just a matter of duty. It was a testament to the respect and admiration they had for his leadership and his vision. Ertugrul, in turn, relied on his Alps to carry out his strategies, support his decisions, and protect the tribe from the many threats they faced. Despite the overwhelming power of the Mongols and the Crusaders, the Kai tribe under Ertugrul's leadership was able to stand strong. Their resistance was not just about physical combat. It was a battle of faith, spirit, and determination. Ertugrul's ability to unite his people and inspire them to fight for justice made them a force to be reckoned with. His leadership turned the Kai tribe into a symbol of hope for the oppressed and a symbol of resistance against tyranny. The loyalty and brotherhood of Ertugrul and his Alps became a cornerstone of the tribe's strength. Their unity in the face of adversity was a powerful example of how faith, trust, and brotherhood could overcome even the most overwhelming challenges. The bond between Ertugrul and his Alps, along with their shared commitment to justice and faith, became a defining characteristic of the Kai tribe's resistance against their enemies. This strength, both spiritual and physical, laid the foundation for the eventual rise of the Ottoman Empire, which would go on to change the course of history. Ertugrul's leadership was not limited to just battles and warfare. His true genius lay in his ability to form strategic alliances with neighboring tribes and rulers, recognizing that the strength of his people did not rest solely on military prowess, but also on the power of diplomacy and unity. Ertugrul's vision of justice, faith, and security resonated with many leaders in the region, and through these alliances, he not only safeguarded his tribe but also paved the way for a greater mission, one that would lay the foundation for the future Ottoman Empire. Ertugrul's Kai tribe, though brave, was small and vulnerable, surrounded by powerful empires and constantly under threat. Ertugrul understood that his tribe could not survive alone. He reached out to neighboring Turkic and Muslim tribes, forming pacts that were based on mutual trust, shared faith, and common goals. Among the most important alliances were with the Danishmendids, a powerful family who ruled parts of Anatolia. The Danishmendid dynasty was one of the most influential rulers in the region at the time, and their alliance with Ertugrul was a game changer. Through this alliance, Ertugrul gained the support of a powerful military force that was vital for the survival of the Kai tribe. In return, Ertugrul ensured that the Danishmendids had a loyal ally in the Turkic tribes, further strengthening the position of both parties. Other tribes, such as the Seljuk Turks who ruled parts of Anatolia under the Sultan, also became key allies. Ertugrul's wisdom and diplomatic skills made him a respected figure among these rulers. His ability to navigate the delicate balance between diplomacy and warfare showed that he was more than just a warrior. He was a visionary leader who understood the importance of forging alliances in times of uncertainty. As the Mongol and Crusader threats loomed, Ertugrul sought alliances with prominent Muslim rulers in the region, particularly the Seljuks, whose Sultan, Aladdin Kikubad, saw in Ertugrul a reliable partner in the fight for Islamic unity and survival. Ertugrul's relationship with the Seljuks was mutually beneficial while Ertugrul secured protection and support for his tribe. The Seljuks were able to rely on his strategic acumen in dealing with internal threats, such as rival factions and the encroaching Mongols. The alliance with the Seljuks was crucial because it provided Ertugrul's tribe with a direct line to the central authority of the Islamic world in Anatolia. As the Seljuks controlled much of the region, their support helped legitimize Ertugrul's position as a leader. The political backing from the Seljuk Sultan allowed Ertugrul to expand his influence, gather resources, and most importantly, prepare his people for a greater future. What made Ertugrul's alliances successful was his deep sense of trust and fairness. He did not use alliances merely as tools for his own personal gain. Ertugrul understood that true leadership required integrity, and he was known for his honesty and loyalty. This made him a reliable and respected figure among other rulers and tribes. His ability to negotiate, communicate, and maintain strong relationships with powerful rulers earned him a reputation as a wise and trustworthy leader. His alliances all extended to smaller tribes and communities who were struggling against the same enemies. By helping other tribes in need, Ertugrul solidified his position as a leader who would not turn his back on anyone in need of assistance, especially in the face of external threats. This spirit of mutual aid created a network of loyalty that ensured his tribe's survival and laid the groundwork for future expansion. With these alliances, Ertugrul not only secured his tribe's position but also created the conditions necessary for a greater mission. A mission that would eventually lead to the establishment of the Ottoman Empire. These alliances provided Ertugrul with the resources, manpower, and political leverage he needed to build a power base that could eventually challenge the larger empires in the region. Ertugrul's wisdom and diplomacy also played a role in uniting various factions under a common cause: the defense of Islam and the protection of the oppressed. His alliances were not merely political but were built on shared values of justice, faith, and righteousness. This spiritual unity among the tribes and rulers created a cohesive force that would become the foundation of the Ottoman Empire, a dynasty that would go on to rule much of the known world for centuries. Ertugrul's leadership was a perfect balance of military strength and diplomatic finesse. His alliances with neighboring tribes and rulers, both Muslim and Turkic, strengthened his tribe and prepared them for a greater mission. Through these alliances, Ertugrul showed that true leadership is not just about power but about forming connections, building trust, and uniting people for a common purpose. His legacy as a wise leader who understood the power of both the sword and diplomacy continues to inspire leaders and scholars to this day. This combination of wisdom, strength, and faith paved the way for Ertugrul's success and the rise of the Ottoman Empire. The birth of Osman Ghazi marked a pivotal moment in the history of the Kaya tribe and the broader Islamic world. As Ertugrul held his newborn son in his arms, he knew that this child was not only the future of his family, but also the key to realizing a vision far greater than he could imagine. Osman's birth was a sign from Allah that the path Ertugrul had been walking, marked by faith, sacrifice, and perseverance, was not just for his generation. It was the beginning of a legacy that would endure for centuries. Osman Ghazi, born to Ertugrul and Halime Sultan, was raised in a time of great change and turmoil. From a young age, Osman was steeped in the values and teachings his father had lived by. Ertugrul's wisdom, his sense of justice, his commitment to the protection of the oppressed, and his vision of a united Muslim world were not only ideals that guided him as a leader, but were principles he passed down to his son. Ertugrul had a clear understanding of the importance of guiding the next generation. As he held Osman, he knew that his son would one day take the reins of leadership. But Ertugrul also understood that leadership was not a birthright. It was a responsibility. He raised Osman with the belief that true leadership required not just military prowess, but a deep faith in Allah and a commitment to justice. Osman was not only his heir but also a continuation of the legacy of the Kaya tribe, which was rooted in the principles of unity, brotherhood, and the protection of Islam. Ertugrul's teachings were more than just instructions for leadership. They were moral and spiritual guidelines that shaped Osman into a man of faith and wisdom. Ertugrul taught Osman to trust in Allah's plan, to lead with compassion, and to seek justice for all people, regardless of their status or background. These values became the foundation upon which Osman would build his own leadership style and the foundation of the Ottoman Empire. Osman's early years were filled with lessons on the importance of unity. Ertugrul taught him that a leader's strength lies not just in his ability to command an army, but in his ability to unite people around a common cause. This was crucial as the challenges that lay ahead would require Osman to form alliances with various tribes, states, and rulers. Ertugrul's own experience with alliances and diplomacy would serve as a model for Osman as he sought to expand the influence of the Kayı tribe and establish a new order. When Ertugrul passed away, it was clear to all who had witnessed his leadership that his son Osman was the natural successor. However, Osman's journey to leadership would not be easy. The region remained unstable, and the threats from the Mongols, Crusaders, and other forces were ever present. Osman was still a young man when he inherited his father's position, but he was already respected for his courage, wisdom, and deep understanding of the principles his father had instilled in him. Osman's rise to power was marked by his ability to navigate the complex political and military landscape. He quickly proved himself as a capable leader, expanding the influence of the Kayı tribe and gaining the loyalty of his people. His ability to unite various tribes and form key alliances allowed him to challenge the established powers of the time, particularly the Seljuks, and later the Mongols. It was under Osman's leadership that the Kayı tribe began to evolve into a powerful entity. The name Ottoman comes from Osman's name, Osman in Turkish, and it was under his rule the foundations of the Ottoman Empire were laid. Osman's victory in battles, his diplomacy with other tribes, and his ability to unite people from different backgrounds were key factors in the establishment of the empire. The Ottoman Empire under Osman's rule was built on the values that Ertugrul had championed: justice, faith. Osman did not just focus on military conquest, he focused on establishing a society that was guided by Islamic principles. His reign was characterized by the protection of Islam and the strengthening of the Muslim community. As a result, the Ottoman Empire would go on to last for over 600 years, shaping the course of history in the Middle East, Europe, and beyond. Osman Ghazi's achievements were not just the result of his own ambition and skill, they were also the result of his father's legacy. Ertugrul's teachings, his strength of character, and his unwavering faith in Allah had laid the groundwork for Osman's success. Ertugrul had shown Osman how to be both a warrior and a wise leader, how to navigate the complexities of leadership while staying true to one's principles. Osman's vision for the future was deeply influenced by his father. Just as Ertugrul had sought to protect and expand the Kayı tribe, Osman sought to establish a lasting empire that would serve as a beacon of justice and faith. He carried forward Ertugrul's values and created a legacy that would endure for centuries. Through Osman's leadership, the Ottoman Empire became one of the greatest empires in history, expanding across vast territories and lasting for more than 600 years. The birth of Osman Ghazi was not just the beginning of a new chapter for the Kayı tribe. It was the beginning of an empire that would shape the course of history. Guided by the teachings of his father, Ertugrul, Osman became the foundation upon which the Ottoman Empire was built. The strength, wisdom, and faith that Ertugrul instilled in Osman would go on to inspire generations of leaders, and the legacy of Ertugrul and Osman continues to resonate today. Through Osman's actions, Ertugrul's vision of justice, unity, and faith was realized on a global scale, changing the course of history forever. As Ertugrul stood on the hill, his gaze fixed on the horizon where the sun slowly dipped behind the mountains, he reflected on the long and arduous journey that had brought him to this point. The gentle breeze ruffled his hair, and the vast expanse of the land before him seemed to mirror the challenges he had faced throughout his life. Yet there was peace in that moment. The victories, the battles, and the struggles were all part of a larger divine plan that had been written long before he had even set foot on this earth. Ertugrul Ghazi's life is not simply a tale of a warrior who fought in numerous battles to defend his people. It is, at its core, a story of faith, perseverance, and trust in Allah. From the moment he became the leader of the Kayı tribe after his father's death, Ertugrul was faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. Yet through it all, he never wavered in his faith or his belief that Allah's plan was always greater than his own. In the face of Mongol invasions, Crusader attacks, and internal betrayals, Ertugrul never once questioned the path he was on. He understood that his mission was not just about fighting for land or power. It was about fighting for justice, for the protection of his people, and for the preservation of the values that were so important to him and his tribe. His trust in Allah's will gave him the strength to keep going, even in the darkest times. Ertugrul's story teaches us that when we place our trust in Allah and remain steadfast in our faith, No obstacle is too great to overcome. One of the most remarkable aspects of Ertugrul's character was his unwavering commitment to his values. He understood that true leadership is not about dominance or personal glory. It is about service, justice, and upholding what is right. Ertugrul's leadership was defined by his humility and his deep connection to the teachings of Islam. He consistently upheld the principles of justice, compassion, and honor, whether in his dealings with allies, enemies, or his own people. His actions were guided by the belief that everything he did should reflect the teachings of the Quran and the example of Prophet Muhammad, PBUH. Ertugrul's leadership was never about personal gain, it was about the greater good of his people and the protection of Islam. For example, when faced with external threats, Ertugrul did not engage in battles for the sake of expansion or conquest. Instead, he fought to protect his people and their way of life. When forming alliances with neighboring tribes and rulers, he did so based on mutual respect and shared values of faith and justice. Even in the face of betrayal by some of his closest allies, Ertugrul remained resolute in his belief that righteousness and faith would ultimately prevail. At the heart of Ertugrul's success was the strong bond he shared with his family and his loyal companions. His wife, Halime Sultan, stood by his side through every trial, offering him wisdom and support. Together, they raised their children with the same values of justice, loyalty, and faith that had guided Ertugrul throughout his life. His sons, especially Osman Ghazi, would go on to continue his mission and establish the Ottoman Empire, a testament to the strength of the foundation Ertugrul had laid. Ertugrul's tribe, particularly his loyal warriors, known as the Alps, were also a reflection of his leadership. Men like Turgut, Bamsi, and Dogan stood by him through thin, proving that loyalty and brotherhood were the pillars upon which Ertugrul's success rested. Ertugrul's ability to inspire such loyalty in his followers was not the result of fear or force. It was the result of his integrity, his faith, and his unwavering commitment to doing what was right. As Ertugrul looked out over the horizon, the sunset symbolized the closing of one chapter in his life and the beginning of another. His own time as a leader may have been drawing to a close, but his legacy was just beginning. Ertugrul had laid the foundation for something much larger than himself, the Ottoman Empire, which would go on to rule for more than 600 years, influencing the course of history across 3 continents. But Ertugrul's legacy was not just political or military, it was spiritual. His life is a reminder that true greatness comes not from power or wealth but from faith, humility, and a commitment to doing what is right, regardless of the challenges. Ertugrul's story teaches us that it is not the size of our tribe or army that determines our success, it is our values, our faith, and our unwavering trust in Allah. Ertugrul's story is timeless, and its lessons are as relevant today as they were in the 13th century. In a world that often values power, wealth, and influence, Ertugrul reminds us that true success comes from staying true to our principles. Whether we are leaders, parents, or individuals trying to make a difference, Ertugrul's life teaches us that the path to greatness is one of faith, determination, and unwavering trust in Allah. As we face our own challenges in life, Ertugrul's story encourages us to keep moving forward, even when the path is difficult. It reminds us that no matter how small we are or how great the obstacles may seem, we can achieve greatness if we stay true to our values and trust in the divine plan. Standing on that hill, looking at the setting sun, Ertugrul knew that his journey was part of something much larger. He had lived his life with faith, determination, and a steadfast belief in Allah's plan. His legacy, shaped by his actions, his values, and his unwavering trust in Allah, would continue to inspire generations to come. Ertugrul Ghazi's story is not just a tale of a great leader, it is a story for all of us, reminding us that greatness is achieved through faith, perseverance, and a commitment to what is just and true. Ertugrul's story is a beacon of hope for all who seek to live with purpose, to fight for justice, and to trust in the will of Allah, no matter the challenges that lie ahead. As the scene fades to a soft, golden hue, the camera slowly pans across the peaceful landscape, with the distant horizon bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. The gentle breeze continues to sweep across the hills, carrying with it the weight of centuries of history and the echoes of a powerful legacy. The soothing music plays softly, allowing the viewer to reflect on the profound journey of Ertugrul Ghazi, the man whose faith, courage, and vision forever changed the course of history. As the screen displays Ertugrul's quote, "Justice is the foundation of the world. Trust in Allah, and He will guide your steps," the words resonate deeply, reminding the audience of the core values that defined his life. These words were not just a passing thought for Ertugrul, they were a reflection of everything he stood for. Throughout his life, He believed that true strength lay in standing up for justice, protecting the weak and acting with integrity, no matter the personal cost. His unwavering faith in Allah was the guiding force behind his actions. Ertugrul understood that no matter how many battles he fought or how many alliances he formed, it was only through complete trust in Allah's will that true success could be achieved. His leadership was not based on his own power, but on the strength he derived from his faith and his belief that Allah's guidance would never fail him. Ertugrul's words continue to inspire people across generations and cultures. His belief in justice as the foundation of the world resonates today, especially in times of conflict and injustice. The lessons Ertugrul imparted, faith, perseverance, loyalty, and justice, are as relevant now as they were during his time. His actions showed that leadership is not just about power or military victories, but about making the world a better place by standing up for what is right, even when it seems impossible. In today's world where many face adversity, conflict, and challenges, Ertugrul's story offers hope and guidance. His life proves that when we trust in Allah and remain steadfast in our principles, we can overcome even the greatest obstacles. His story teaches us that no matter how small we may feel in the grand scheme of the world, we have the potential to make a significant impact if we stay true to our values. Ertugrul's legacy is not just a tale of a warrior, it is a testament to the power of faith and justice in shaping the future. His leadership inspired not only his son Osman Ghazi, who went on to establish the Ottoman Empire, but also generations of people who looked to his story for guidance and inspiration. The foundation of the Ottoman Empire, built on the principles of justice and faith that Ertugrul so strongly believed in, went on to influence the course of history for over 600 years. As the text on the screen fades, the camera returns to the serene landscape, allowing the viewer to reflect on the words of Ertugrul and the enduring legacy he left behind. His life serves as a reminder that true greatness is not achieved through power or wealth, but through the strength of character, unwavering faith, and a commitment to justice. The narrator's voice gently re-enters, urging viewers to take the lessons of Ertugrul's life and apply them to their own. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history, the narrator says warmly. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum. This call to action invites the audience not just to reflect on Ertugrul's legacy, but to actively share it, spreading the values of justice, faith, and integrity with others. By sharing these teachings, viewers have the opportunity to carry forward the powerful message that Ertugrul's life represents. As the music swells in the background, the final moments of the video allow the viewer to feel a sense of peace and inspiration. Ertugrul's story has not only recounted the past, but has planted the seeds for a future where justice and faith can guide all who listen to his message. The final quote remains on the screen, a lasting reminder of the lessons that Ertugrul has left for the world. Justice is the foundation of the world. Trust in Allah, and He will guide your steps.